again, we cannot overemphasize the need to prepare, because again, what sets those guys who are struggling for, if you like, independence or fight against imperialism and all that, was how prepared they were. I mean, when they stood to speak, came from a place of knowledge. Let's come back to choosing the right people, vis-a-vis, or in the context of how monetized our system has become. So the two major political parties, if today we'd have to rely on them, then it's going to be per what delegates have done, because they have gone to choose the people, and we know how most of them chose the people. Now, if we have to rely again on them, they will choose by far who wins the next election. Choosing the right people, monetization of the system, the role of the young person who must stay woke.
You see, as I was saying, one of the criticisms I have of our political party system, NDC, MPP, and why I keep emphasizing the fact that we must be deliberate about leadership training and the kind of people we put out to lead us, is the fact that the internal party system is not democratic. It's not democratic. It is no difference from what the Chinese Communist Party does. I was in China for a year and I studied the system. It's a prefecture system where they elect one person here, and that one person has the power to elect people on behalf of millions of people.
Indeed.
Yes, and the next person has the power to elect on behalf of 100 million people. And the next person has the power to elect on behalf of 300 million people. And it goes to the Communist General Assembly itself, where they elect the president. And they call it a democracy. And that is exactly what we do in our internal political party. And now that it's a duopoly, what happens is that prefecture system is a prefecture system, what we call delegates. It's a prefecture system. When we do that, the prefects go and elect one person from among themselves, similar to what the Communist Party does. So we have two sides. The only difference is that we have two sides where two top guys are elected. Then now the masses, you have the choice between Kofi and Amma, and you don't have any other person to choose, because that's how the system has been framed. So that's the only difference between us and the Chinese Communist Party here. Apart from, I mean, free speech, where I can say whatever I like about our presidency and how it's not functional at all, which makes our democracy a bit, I mean, advanced than theirs.
Right.
That's the only difference between us. But if you look at some other things, what even makes them stand apart? I always emphasize the fact that the provision of socio-economic facilities and socio-economic welfare for the people who are governed is more essential to a democracy than free and fair elections. Because the reason why the people would queue and go and vote is because they want a certain comfort in their lives.
Indeed.
So if the communist dictatorship provides socio-economic welfare more than the free and fair election democracy we call what we have over here, then there's a problem. So if we want to correct the problem with our democracy, we must correct the communist nature of our political party organization. That is the truth. And it is a problem in MPP, it is a problem in NDC, and unless we don't want to solve it, then we will say the parties are perfect. The parties are not perfect. They are problematic, the system we've created. Because if I have a lot of cash today,
indeed,
and I know that this is what I want to do, all I need to do is to target the prefects. I call them prefects, the delegates. Is to target the prefects in the party, because that's how similar they are to the Communist Party. Targets them, make sure I build some goodwill with them, and then add a bit of cash. You are gone. All that is left is for the masses to have a choice between just two. But if we democratize the internal party system, at every point in time, the masses have a say in who is where, up until the top. So the fact that the masses have a say in each and every stage of the democratic process, whoever ultimately gets to the top has been refined so many times by the masses themselves. That is what happens. If you look at the advanced democracies that we copy in the United States, before you get through the ranks, even as down as county elections, if it's on party basis, you must elect the people by the masses. The political party primaries is by all the members of the political party. For example, in NDC today, if we want to hold a congress to elect the flag bearer of the NDC, it should be the case that all members of the new National Democratic Congress vote for the flag bearer, and the same must apply for the MPP, and it must be the case for their internal party elections, party chairman. But democracy is expensive. But oligarchy disguised as a democracy is more expensive because it does not deliver on the basic principle of providing socio-economic welfare for the people. It delivers on the principle of ensuring that the oligarchs are satisfied at the expense of the masses. So that is an expense we must be willing to incur as a people if the general mass of the people are going to have a fair share of the national cake. If we want the general mass of the people to have a fair share, that is an expense we must go on. What we are doing and saying is less expensive is even a lie. The amount of cash they dole out because of the delegate system is so much. They wouldn't be doing that if it was a mass-based election where you have to justify your case before a large number of people. They wouldn't be doing that. But because of it, because the delegate system, I must be knowing very well that if Kabunate comes, he will not be able to satisfy him the way I've satisfied him. Then I'm sure that if Kofi goes to vote, he's going to vote for me. So we must democratize our internal party election if we are going to have the best of people leading us. This is not in any way, I mean, I must issue a disclaimer. It is not in any way to suggest that all the people who are in the current establishment are so bad that the making the elections, I mean, a mass election is going to flash all of them out. Fine. That is not the case. But if we want to ensure that the quality we want for our democracy happens, we must democratize our internal party.
That's instructive, and demystifying that myth of having perfect system and all that. I think he just put it succinctly. Now,